Guys, it's time to make your official picks. We will let Eric go first here. Which team is going to the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Chad, that I think it's going to be low scoring. If it isn't, that's going to surprise me. It's going to be physical. San Francisco defense is extremely physical, as is Philadelphia's. But the question mark still with McCaffrey. If he was 100% healthy, I think that changes the whole outlook of this game. But right now, I just think the Eagles are playing with so much confidence, and the fact that they're going to be at home, like Tim said, every aspect of their game, offense, defense, special teams, everything has been clicking for them. And I think that last week's game was against the Giants. I think that was a statement that the Eagles were saying, hey, yes, this is us. This is who we are. This is what we can do. Will they do it against the 49ers? I highly doubt it. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. I said it at the beginning of the season. I said Eagles, Bills. I'm not going to change course, at least in the NFC, of course.
Right.
So, yes, I'm going Eagles.
I'm glad you're sticking to your guns there. All right, Tim. Let's see who you're going with. Who is going to the Super Bowl from the NFC?
Well, I just want to go back a little bit 1 week to the Dallas San Francisco game, and guys, really, the press has been on Dak Prescott, and really rightfully so. I think on the field that night, a week ago Sunday, the Cowboys were the better team. You take away two of those interceptions that Dak Prescott had, and he could have had almost a pick six in that fourth quarter. If Dak Prescott just played average, Dallas wins that ball game by maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. You're right in that they finally got pressure to Brock Purdy. He started to show it a little bit. San Francisco is banged up. They got to fly across the country. But the one thing I believe why the Eagles are going to win this ball game is because the secondary for San Francisco is not as good as their overall defense. Yes, they're good, but I believe that the Eagles, with their 2 good wide receivers and their touchdown and their tight end, along with Jalen Hurts, are going to find holes in that secondary. Dallas, when Dak Prescott was being successful, he found CeeDee Lamb all over the place. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to have a couple of people that are going to be key. Look for maybe Dallas Goedert to have a great game. But it's also in South Philly, the fans, you've got to give them at least 1 or 2 point advantage, just because of the fans and how loud it's going to be in Philadelphia on Sunday. But I believe the secondary is just a little bit better in Philadelphia, and they're going to win this game. You guys said about low scoring. I don't know what low scoring is. I think it might be somewhere 24-17 or something like that. I don't know if that is a realistic score, guys, for what you think a low scoring game is. But if this is a high scoring game, I think you've got to look at the Eagles because they are the better team in the track meet. I don't think San Francisco can keep up with them because they have a more methodical run-based offense where the Eagles really, they look to pass first and then they run.
I would say like 21-17 would be low scoring, nowadays in the NFL. So you're right around on the mark. Everything here is pointing to the Eagles. Boy, they've had an incredible season, been the #1 team pretty much throughout. They have the home field advantage. They finally have their quarterback healthy. Boy, they are just cruising towards another Super Bowl appearance and potentially their second one in franchise history if they were to win. And I don't want to see any of it. I cannot continue to live on this planet and have to suffer through another year of that. 2017 was torture, Tim, to have to deal with all that nonsense. Imagine them having 2.
Yep.
So there is no chance I am rooting for the Eagles here. Yep. Even if they have the advantage in most of the columns. So I'm rooting and putting everything on the 49ers. I know you guys are going against me, so this kills me even more now in the picks segment, but I have to go with the 49ers. I can't bring myself to support the Eagles anymore. I've run out of the Eagles juju. Time to make some picks. Tim, you can go first here. Who's going to the Super Bowl, the Bengals or the Chiefs?
Well, I'm sorry, fans, but you're very wrong. I remember when the Giants beat the Vikings to advance to beat the Eagles or to play the Eagles. Everybody was on the Giants bandwagon. I look, as much as I'm hyping up the Cincinnati Bengals and how good they are. Everybody is on their bandwagon. I see it. I think this is the year, though, that they go down. The defense is a little bit better in Kansas City, at least on the front seven. And then the Bills, they're going to get to Joe Burrow. That's going to be the difference in this ball game. Sprinkle in a little Patrick Mahomes, a little bit of Kelsey, and I think you're maybe going to find maybe a game-winning field goal by the Chiefs, but they are going to win this ball game.
All right. Tim's vote is for the number 1 seed. Eric, who's going to the Super Bowl, Bengals or Chiefs?
Chad's inner Joe Burrow coming out there. That's
Nice.
I'm kind of in agreement. This Bengals squad, and like Tim said, 3 offensive linemen, had to play or as substitutes last week and did a great job. That's the one thing that's kind of been the blemish on the Bengals offense the last couple of years is protecting Joe Burrow. So I think that you're going to see both defenses come out and try and throw as many different looks as possible as far as their stunts, as far as blitz packages, especially with Cincinnati, because if Mahomes, and that's part of it, his magic is his maneuverability to get out of the pocket and still make plays. If he can't do that, Cincinnati has got to just pin the ears back and just bring everything at different times. With that being said, though, I just think to beat a team 4 consecutive times, especially as talented as Kansas City is, I don't see it happening this time around. And I'm in agreement with Tim. I think it's going to come down to a Harrison Butker field goal that's going to win it for the Chiefs.
All right, both of you are taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs, the number 1 team, they're at home 5th year in a row. They have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. I thought Mahomes was more injured than they're letting on. When they said he had that ankle injury and might not even be walking halfway through the week, that caused some concern. I saw some video of him. He looks pretty good right now, midway through the week. So that worries me a little bit with my pick. I could not trust Mahomes to make it through the whole game if he was injured. And so I went with the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow just proved to me that maybe I should be having a little more faith in what he can do. I thought the Bills would win that game at home, and he just led his team to an absolute blowout upset. And so I'm putting my faith in Joe Burrow for another game, another year here. I'm going with Cincinnati Bengals. I'm actually taking both road games. Show the graphic. I can't believe this.
Wow.
I'm potentially going to fall behind here in the picks because I'm just an absolute bozo. You guys are both taking the number 1 teams, and I'm taking the underdogs. That's our picks there to see who goes to the Super Bowl. You guys also want to see the Kelsey brothers Super Bowl, right? That's what it looks like there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any thoughts on that, Tim, before we go to Eric?
Well, there's 2 things Eric pointed out to me through a text about the Kelsey Bowl Super Bowl. I'm also interested to see Andy Reid against his former team. I mean,
Right.
Remember, Philadelphia just pretty much ran him out of town after the success that he had. That's an intriguing matchup too.
Yeah, Eric, quickly.
Well, yeah, and then let's filter down. Chad Henne, he's won a Super Bowl ring already. Wilson High School. Who's on Andy Reid's staff? Matt Nagy.
Nagy, yeah.
Love to see him get a ring as well.